Hi, everyone. Thank you for waiting. We have a very exciting segment at this point talking about future of retail. So I'm Jason Ong. I'll be moderating this session. So basically, I help company grow revenue and profitability through CRM, customer experience, customer insights, and digital transformation. So today, I'm very happy that we have three very interesting professionals to share with us on looking at the magical ball on the future of retail. Because retail, as you know it, currently is very challenged. Also many factors affecting it, high cost, supply chain issues, and a lot of like worsening geopolitics, worsening climate change. So it's not a good space to be in, but a lot of us, we spend like 2 decades inside it. So today we try to unearth some learnings from them and to project into the future, how future retail will be like, which is already happening now. So I'll let them introduce themselves to you.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Sachin. I am the business head for a brand called Babyshop, part of the Landmark Group. It's a Middle East retail giant, $7 billion US, started in 1973, 50-year-old brand. We have over 20 brands, 2,000 plus stores present in about 20 countries. So yeah, that's me.
Hey everyone. So this is Abishek. I have 18 years of experience from retail industry. I've got a chance to work with major retailers around the world, from Walmart, Tesco, Levi's, Target, Asda, and right now I'm working with Reliance as a VP strategy. So I'm taking care of the strategy of supply chain, commercial, and e-commerce from the retail point of view. Right? Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Johanna. I'm the founder of Maison 21G, so I'm not a 7 billiard company yet. So we are specialized in luxury retail, and we have transformed the perfume business in a bespoke model in retail. So actually, when you come at Maison, you can choose your ingredient and create your own perfume. So it was a kind of revolution compared to my competitor where you buy your ready-made perfume. So we are now distributed in about 10 countries, mostly in Asia. So we have a beautiful store in MBS and Takashimaya, and we are in Korea, Middle East, China. So I have 5 years of experience in retail.
So if you want to smell good, you look for her. She'll give you a unique sense. Okay, let's carry on. Very much today, we really have to understand how future of retail will be like, so that in a sense that it helps you when you plan your inventory, your supply chain, how to support your frontline colleagues and your product development, your marketing. So very much like the first point that we have discussed on our own is that very much future of retail, that's why we always say it's already here, that you are seeing a lot of the symptoms now, the trends. The first one is customer experience. So a lot of time, a lot of brands are also moving heavily into customer experience, while some are still very product focused. So let's have some thoughts on that to see what are your views. Are you still very product focused, or you have moved on to customer experience? Or Sachin?
Yeah, I wish it could have been done in silos, but I feel both customer experience and product is super important. Now, for Landmark Group, as I said, we have over 20 plus brands. We are a very private label led organization, and that's what we have been doing for 50 years. So product is at the heart of everything. If your product is not good, you can have the best of experiences, but the customer is going to walk empty. So once you have the product, customer experience is a unique proposition, a unique strategy that you can offer, and that is something that cannot be imitated. So you can have Apple as a product, but the kind of experience they have created around it is what gives it its brand positioning. So customer experience is important. That's where you can create your unique identity, create a differentiation in the market, but they go hand in hand. Both are important.
So I think the question is really good, but it has to be taken into context of which retail we are talking about. So let's talk about grocery retail. So if I take into context of Walmart, Carrefour, Tesco, even Reliance, because Reliance is also now the biggest retailer of India, $120 billion business. So if I take grocery into perspective, the first KPI which we speak about is consumer buying behavior. Now the consumer buying behavior over the decades has started from data analytics to machine learning and now we are talking about AI. So what are we doing with consumer buying behavior? I think the biggest subject now have started, the buzzword is customer psychology. Do you understand the psyche of the customer? So how to understand psyche of the customer? For example, in the past, like 10 years back, when I launch a product, I was looking at a pilot product or a similar product data to see how the consumers are responding. That was the way to do. Now, from the AI model, we are able to go to a zip code level to understand what is the buying behavior of a customer, the purchasing power, what are the demography of the people, how they are changing their customer needs, like from last 6 months, what they are buying and the frequency. The data has given so much of insights that we exactly know the new product has to launch in which part of the country and what is the volume what should be targeting in the forecasting. So I think consumer buying behavior is something which has changed in terms of grocery market for both online offline, and the AI is really helping to understand and mine the data to give you the resulted outputs.
Good.
So I think I'm the biggest advocate of personalization because this is my model. But I think personalization, it's indeed the product and the experience. And the more personalized you become, the more luxury you should be because it has a cost in terms of people. Because if you need to personalize the relationship with the customer, you need excellent salespeople. And the product, if you start to personalize, it's very difficult to scale up. So I think the more mass you have, the less personalization you have, the more luxury you go, the more personalization you want. And to personalize, as you quote, we have the AI now. So you enter your data and you can have some path, what kind of ingredient they like, when they're going to consume, if they're going to gift, if they have home scent. So AI has been a tremendous help for small company like me. And also we help people to choose with the AI. So with your data, I'm able to predict what kind of perfume is going to fit you according why you want to create this perfume. So AI has been a huge revolutionary in the guidance and the personalization of the product.
Yes. So looking at things today, in fact, if you look at the world today, last 30 years is an era of abundance. But moving forward, as we know, we have depleted the world, the resources, and a lot of things has quite depleted. This is where the era of sustainability has arrived. So when you look into the magical ball, you see that a lot of retailers are also going into sustainability. They are trying to be more carbon light and more eco-friendly. So this is something future of retail. You will see it for I think a long period because the world is now depleting. Like we all know it, with all the climate crisis and a lot of human error in certain production of supply of goods. So there's a lot of maldistribution. So for you guys, how do you go into this? Because for retailer, it's always a challenge how to support the cost and to also make it work for you in terms of dollar and cents.
See, fundamentally, I think it's important to understand where is this entire sustainability bus coming from. If you go a little ahead in the future, by 2030, almost 30% of the consumer segment is going to be Gen Alpha. These are the people born in the 2010. Millennials, Gen Zs, and Gen Alpha is going to be more than 50% of the consumer base. These are the generations that have born with mobile in their hands, spending on average 4 to 5 hours. 2024 is going to be the hottest year. Climate crisis is a real thing, and these generations they're born with it. They're looking into it, and this is the generation that has to continue, right? Sustainability is at the very heart of their preference. It's not just like a good to have, it's a must have, especially as you accelerate and this becomes the biggest consumer segment. They are going to want it, so it's become important. Now at Landmark Group, sustainability is something that we have understood is important. There are a lot of initiatives we have taken. For example, Splash, one of our brands, we have partnered with the Better Cotton initiative. It's one of the most exclusive sustainability program out of India, and we work very closely on it. And because it's a massive organization and a lot of fabric generation happens, we are also investing a lot into recycling, the entire circular idea. So it is here to stay. it's very important. The prominence is only going to increase with time. So there are certain initiatives that we have taken. And another important insight I can give you, we did a focus group discussion, a voice of customer study. 3 years back, when we asked for various parameters that is important for you, sustainability came around 8th, 9th. This time when we did it, it was 4th. So it's changing very fast. There are certain initiatives in our products that we have taken, but it's a long journey. It's expensive, but it's an investment worth making.
It's a must.
So from grocery retail, let's understand the data first. So from carbon emission perspective, the biggest carbon emission comes from the food production line, right? Under organized retail, the total loss of food just because of expired products or damaged products in the organized retail has happened around $1.4 trillion last year around the world. So even organized retail is not able to stop the food waste. So what are we doing with it? So at Reliance, we have started again with the technology initiative from 3 perspectives. First technology is the batch management of farm to fork. So we would have understood the blockchain technology, but the blockchain was not exactly fruitful for us from the from the farm to fork in terms of the fresh items, especially dry condiments, or you want to buy the chicken, or you want to buy the other meat products or the fish coming from Norway salmon. And if I have to sell in India, how will the entire chain will look like from the batch perspective? So what we have done, we have installed at 3 sites our sourcing of fresh item. So one source is at the farm, which is the AI vision technology on the cameras. These cameras, what it does on the conveyor belt, you put the items which have been produced by batches, and they look at the quality and texture of the item from the vision technology, and they tell you what grade it is. So for example, bananas have 6 grades. For us consumer, you will not know. But as a buying perspective, I'll know. 6 grades. Every grade has a different price. So how will I know the grade until I look at it, right? So that grade we are deciding at the farm, and then we are deciding the price as per the grade. When it comes via the logistics partner, then we see the freight forwarder, what level of grade you have brought it to me from the cold chain perspective. Then we do the check there, and final check at the store. What life is left. With the life left, we decide that what is the right markdown price I have to give on the product so that I don't waste it, I don't let it expire. The system is able to tell you at the right time, when is my bananas or tomatoes or apples are going to expire on the next day, so why don't you put on a markdown? This is a huge change in technology and able to save around 40 to 50% of your shrinkage in your organized retail.
That's a lot.
This is huge, and that's what we have started. We have already tested in around 1,000 of stores. We have 18,000 stores. So 1,000 stores have started working. We have 250 warehouses, 100 warehouses we already implemented. So this is one of the biggest. And second, the recycling of the packaging material. Whatever waste is discarded from the warehouse, it doesn't go to waste. We are going for recycling, come back and reuse until it is completely dead, that material. And finally, for the e-commerce, we have started investing on e-bikes delivery. How can the electronic bikes do a delivery of a last mile for at least cities? We want to do the e-bike delivery. That is something which we have started.
Interesting, and a lot of headway.
Yeah, big topic. In the beauty industry, sustainability is a must-have. We say green is the new black. So sustainability is 3 things for me. It's how you conceive your product, how you're going to transport them and sell them, and how the consumer behave with you. So as a startup, it's easier to, and it's even, I would say, you save money when you are sustainable. So for instance, when we launch Maison, we ban plastic. We say we're not going to do anything in plastic. So I remember Sephora was not happy because I was not plastifying my product. And I have a recyclable paper, and for them, it was like, no, we need plastic. I said, no, you don't need plastic. So it's the debate also with the distribution, helping brands to be more sustainable. Then we decided to develop a refillable bottle. So that means when you finish your bottle, you can come and refill in your store, so you don't throw away the glass, the cap, the magnet, everything. So it's also for the consumer to help the brand to become more conscious about and also consume what you need. Because if we are still in this frenzy of having 10 perfume, 10 cosmetic, so I think it should come from each of us. And I think the biggest challenge would be with the huge corporation, like I used to work for P&G, Unilever, L'Oreal. Everything is made in plastic still. So when they're going to switch because they are the massive polluters. It's not an attack, but as I say, as a startup, it's very easy to decide to be sustainable. But when I see the amount of plastic we are still using, we use a bottle of shampoo every 3 days. And so I think it should come also from the big industry to change their way of packing things and the formula. So I think consumer wants more transparency, and we see this trend to source locally. So you can make huge saving when you decide to buy the chicken next to you, or natural ingredient that are made. So when I work with luxury hotel where we create their scent, we ask them to incorporate something local. So if you're in Indonesia, you can work with patchouli. If you are in Turkey, you can work with the local rose. So I think also it's an effort to look what I have around me, what is great I can put in my product. So for me, it's really how you do your packaging. We need a huge effort because packaging, it's so important because most of the time we choose with the eyes, but you throw your packaging straight away. So be careful when you choose your packaging to try to find something sustainable. The formula, avoiding all the, for instance, when you buy a candle, make sure you buy a natural candle because the rest is made with paraffin. It's petrol, you breathe paraffin. It's like you put your car in your living room. So also look at the formula and try to avoid any synthetic derivated product from petrol. And it's how we source the ingredient close to us. And it's how we make sure that we buy refillable things. I think and the Gen Z will be very sensible, like refillable product. It's a new trend. I saw some startup already where you can refill your shampoo. They sold the toothbrush and it's a capsule. So there is a lot of initiative, super interesting with a startup.
Every small effort counts.
Yeah,
because for retailers, definitely packaging is a big headache. Because the dilemma, why we love packaging or more premium packaging, because it really jack up the perceived value. So as retailer, we are also, or we have to make certain high level of profit to sustain. So packaging is in fact really a big challenge for all the retailers. Okay, then I think one of the key points also for the trend in future retail, I think the guys will be all very ready to talk about data and tech driven. So retail is nowadays is not a if or but it must be data and tech driven. So Sachin?
Yeah, I think they say data is the new oil, for a reason, because in today's day and age, it's also a competitive advantage because customers are leaving a lot of footprints behind, a lot of data points across the different channel. It's not just one channel. Now, it is up to you as an organization, how are you able to harness that data to then use it for the benefit of the customer? That's where hyper-personalization comes in. So data becomes a big differentiator. You have, like for a brick and mortar retailer, you have transaction level data. You can understand what is going into the basket and then curate offers according to it. So data is a big pillar of our focus. A lot of our, I would say, personalized, customized strategies revolve around data, and it's a differentiator. So I think that's how we look at it.
So again, I think that there is a shift between how things are changing continuously. As I said, from data analytics to machine learning, then we are into AI. After COVID, if you see, people have changed their style of buying, right? If before COVID, if you see a person having $100 when the survey was done, how much a young population is spending in which of the categories? So top category was food, and then was your accessories like mobile phones, then your makeup for the, and your lifestyle and so on. Now the things have changed. People want to do on organic. People do want a healthy products. So these are something which have came after COVID. So one is the situation around you, which has changed. That is something which we know, of course, from the data. But what AI is helping here is what we cannot do analysis on the Excel. Now, what they have done that now you have a history of 3 years of data. I can do a mining instantly, and I can bring with so many millions of data and giving you a right result what exactly we should be doing at this stage. So for example, first time I have seen a buying forecast being done by AI tool. Earlier, there's a buying team which is doing a forecast every year. Now, a AI tool is validating that forecast and telling you whether the right forecast is there or not. So I think this is a big shift in every way how AI is helping you. And, and finally is, consumer has also become very smart. They're not giving you every data. If you log in as any other website, they are not giving you more than a mobile number. They're not telling you gender, we discussed, right? They're not even telling you their email, their date of birth. So there are many information, missing information on that piece. So how now e-commerce or our websites part are doing? So whenever consumer is going through a single page to other page, what time the person is taking, which product they stopped, which product they didn't buy, which product they put in the cart, which product they remove from the cart. So all this data is now coming out in AI and telling you that these products, people change the decision by taking time. I think they would have found other price or better item. So now we are focusing on that level of details to get the information.
Yes, so data, in fact, is very important in retail. Just that a bit sad is in the sense that a lot of retailers are still not collecting enough data. Like I see a lot of retail shops, a lot of retail brands, they don't have a loyalty program. So, and sometimes they don't have a e-store as well. So a lot of time they cannot collect data. They just bang on like walk-in customer coming in, and it's very passive. Imagine another pandemic have happened. So they have no way to contact their customers. Those like with loyalty program, with an e-store, they can do that. So the last point we talk about for retailer is definitely innovation. For future of retail, definitely all have to go innovation. So maybe Johanna can share with us, because I find that the way that you design your business, like with a lot of unique sense, that's something like a very, it's a good innovation to share how you make the perfume industry, like you make a niche for yourself in the luxury space.
Just to finish with the data topics, which is innovation, as you say, I was a pioneer using data to personalize perfume. But to be a bit provocative, I think we need more than ever, if we talk retail, the human relationship. And it's the biggest challenge of the retailer is to find people who are passionate to do retail, because it's a tough job. You stay long hours. You stand up, you work during the weekend when people are. So I think data should be a tool and not a purpose. I agree, some doesn't collect enough, but you go back to the store where the person know you, where you have a great smile, where they know your history. So you can have the data in the background, but having the smart salespeople that really give attention to the relationship will be the winner for tomorrow. And it's the challenge, because we don't have enough people, because everybody wants to stay in their desk, on their phone, on their computer. So I think we should re-put the human at the heart of what we do in retail. In terms of innovation, I think the machine learning is huge for us, for the logistics, the prediction, for advising people. As I was saying, you cannot have a Johanna, we make a perfume for everybody. So AI was really transformative for me. And I will say personalization is how we're going to scale up personalization will be the biggest challenge. And keeping the right people in our store, because we spend so much time on our computer. When we go out, we want an experience. And it's why at Maison, we launched this atelier de création, where you take 1 hour and it's dedicated to you with a scent advisor. And people love this model, because it's very different when you go to Sephora. It's something you can buy online. You don't need to go to Sephora. So when you go to your favorite store, is to have a personal relationship and an experience. And I'm also working in the luxury hospitality. Is the same. You go back to the hotel where people know you, like you. So for me, this is the innovation of tomorrow, how you reconnect with your customer.
Yeah, I think adding all of the points and harping on what you said, the thing is, innovation need not be very fancy. There are, of course, AI, AR, VR, a lot of the buzzwords, but it can be simplistic, yet be a differentiated offering. Now, the point that you said, loyalty. In today's day and age, if a brand doesn't have loyalty, they're just losing out. Now, for us, we have a program called Shukran. And I like to say this, there are more people with a Shukran account than, like, in the Middle East, than they have their own passport. It's that penetrated. You have about 35 million active users. And this Shukran has partnered with almost 40, 50 plus brands in restaurants, hotel, entertainment, and our own in-house brands. Now, we have harped on data, and this is where we give a lot of exclusive offers, particularly in Babyshop. if you buy for your child first time, we know when the kid is going to turn 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, when a stroller is needed, when apparel is needed. So for us, a lot of data personalization technology comes into our loyalty program, which has now become an innovative solution, not very easy to copy, and it's a unique differentiator. And it builds loyalty with the customer because there is something always exciting for the customer.
Yes, definitely. Like you can see from all the speakers, the panelists, retail is really transforming itself. Lah. So I think our time is running out. So sum it up, retailing nowadays, you must create value, you must create purpose, and also must have a societal impact. Lah. If not, it's very hard to compete with the rest of the competitor in the market because everyone is moving there. Okay, with that, I would like to thank the panelists for a wonderful session.